Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we're going to be breaking down the 8-game NBA slate we have ahead of us. Also, talking a little bit of MLB. This is now a mixed bag show. We cover all things fantasy, from MMA to golf. All of that is covered inside the DFS Sweatshop. So hit us up at the website. Then you can jump into our Facebook VIP group where it all goes down. Really interesting third day of MLB. We've been on a roller coaster pretty much because we went from having kind of mid-level scoring on that first 3-game slate from the first opening day, and then the real opening day that happened yesterday. We saw, a pretty much increased cash line there with all the offense that we saw in some of those later games. And then today, the cash line was low, was super low. 92 would have really got you anywhere you wanted to be as far as the cash line went. I had a couple of lineups that went over 100. Did not do as well as I planned. Lost about 8% of my complete buy-in. So I only lost a couple bucks, but anytime you lose, it sucks. So had just too much Houston, man. And I talked myself out of going hard on my Colorado stacks as well as my San Francisco stacks, and I kind of fell in love with the chalk. I bit the chalk, got swept away by all of the offense that we were supposed to see against Houston and how bad Iwakama was supposed to be against the Astros, man. That just did not come to fruition, man. Didn't really see a ton of offense the way we saw, or we thought we were going to see from the Houston Astros. So hey, that's what it is. It happens. Third day, we're still into MLB. We're good. We're good. No need to panic. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Got to tell myself that to keep myself going. But really solid MLB slate that we did have. We have 12 games coming up tomorrow. Well, I think it's really 15, but we've got a 3-game shorty, and then we're going to be jumping into that 12-game 7 o'clock slate that starts at MLB. So we also have, of course, 8 games of NBA to go over as well. Now, let's go ahead, man, because I still issued out my NBA Core 4. I did an MLB Core 4 as well. But let's go ahead and jump into the regular formatting of the show, where we first talk about the Core 4 plays, and then we jump into the feature 4 plays of the night. Now, the very first play in last night's Core 4 was a no-brainer for me. I mean, Paul George, playoff atmosphere. He wants to get his team in, realizes he is pretty much the only one that can really carry this team. He's going to have to carry this team if they're going to make the playoffs. They are, I believe they were half a game back, or no, they were tied, I believe, for that last playoff spot with the Miami Heat, who are going to be playing today. So we saw Paul George have another monster game, 58.5 DraftKings points. He dropped 35 real-life points, 10 boards, 3 assists, knocked down 5 3-point shots, and got 2 steals. Awesome game. He was the first play in the Core 4. Now, we're going to go over to Jrue Holiday, another play that was really good. Now, this play came from a lot of what Rudy does with his perfect lineup strategy, and we knew that the Denver Nuggets give it up to the point guard position. That was a simple, I don't want to say simple plug and play, but it made so much sense that even though I liked him already, that he was one of those guys that you could definitely take a look at when it came to the perfect lineup stuff that Rudy has been working on. So I loved the spot he was in. Brought back 47.5 DraftKings points, 18 real life points, 13 dimes, 4 boards, 2 3-pointers, a block, and a steal. Excellent game we saw from Jrue Holiday. Next guy we're talking about is Gary Harris. This was another guy from that same type of build, man, that you know that you can attack the New Orleans Pelicans at that shooting guard spot. And who better to do it with than Gary Harris? We saw a few injuries take people off of the court for the Denver Nuggets, which led to more minutes for him. He played 41 of them today. We knew that Jimmy Nelson was going to be playing. We knew that we were going to see a start for Jamal Murray, who they don't fully trust running the offense a lot of times. So just an excellent game for Gary Harris. Also, Will Barton was out, so the stage was set for this guy to have this type of game. 23 real-life points, 8 boards, 5 assists, knocked down a couple of threes, also had 2 steals, 44 DraftKings points, very solid game. Now, this was the hiccup in the Core 4, because this motherfucker was in the very best matchup that any center could wish for. But the game did blow out, and it blew out in their favor. So, that's the only thing that saved your ass from being the Snowflake of the night. because the game blew out in your favor. It's hard to give a motherfucker the snowflake when a team wins the way they did. And we just saw an offensive explosion from so many guys on this team. It was hard for me to make you a snowflake of the night. So overall, the core 4 was not bad. If you used it, I'm sure it helped you get to the cash line. It did hit 6x. That's the goal. That's what we're looking for, but we do not want any snowflakes. Don't get me wrong. We don't want no snowflakes in the core 4. And the dude started out smoking, bro. I was like, hell yeah, Brook Lopez was the play. And before you know it, man, he had been sitting down, didn't see barely any run in the fourth quarter. So we didn't see him, get that point total that we really would like him to have. And that was last night's core 4. And this is the core 4 review. Now let's go ahead and jump into the featured 4 plays of the night. These are the 4 most talked about guys, the most tweeted about guys in the DFS Sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, and as well as on Twitter. And tonight's who dat scoring all them points over there play tonight was a guy that we highlighted in our 3K plays of the day. It was Shabazz Muhammad at 3K minimum salary, stone ground minimum. Went out and dropped 24 real life points, grabbed 11 boards and assists, knocked down a 3. And all of this happened in a ton of scrub love as the Golden State Warriors whipped the Minnesota Timberwolves. He brought back 41.25 DraftKings points. Very excellent. Over 13 times value. Very nice game we saw from Shabazz Muhammad. Next, we're going to talk about the how did I miss that play tonight. This is a dude that popped up in every model that I ran. He popped up in every, but I was so partial to playing Anthony Davis that I just couldn't get him anywhere in my lineups. And you know what? Egg on my face, because this dude was 1 assist away from a triple-double. And you could have rostered the whole big 3. Now, is there a big 3 in New Orleans now? There's a big 3. DeMarcus Cousins, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis. So now there's a big 3. You could have rostered him, bro. 10.3 K was the salary on him. 69 DraftKings points. Excellent game. Monster game. 30 points. 14 boards. 9 assists. Knocked down 3 3-point shots. Also blocked a couple shots and got a steal. And that is why tonight you, DeMarcus, are the how the fuck did I miss you play of the night. Next guy we're going to talk about is the heat check play tonight. And it's always a good thing. Excuse me. Oh, wait a minute. We had a motherfucker wanted to make a special guest appearance. What's going on, Yogi? How you doing, brother? Yogi, what's going on? You chilling? You doing all right? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, it's good to see you. With your old snowflake ass. You's a motherfucking snowflake. How the fuck you gonna go out 4.4K popping up in all the motherfucking models? I didn't even want to roster your bitch ass. Popped up in every model I ran. Put you in my lineup and you go out and you shit yourself. Horrible game. And you jumped in front of the heat check play tonight with your old snowflake ass. Motherfucking snowflake. It's always good when the heat check play is also a core 4 play. Tonight, Paul George, salute to you. You are tonight's heat check player of the night. Now, let's go ahead and jump back on Yogi with his old snowflake ass. 4.4K. In position against one of the worst teams in the motherfucking league, the Sacramento Kings. You go out, and not only do you lose the game, but you only play 25 minutes. You get 7 points and 5 assists. You knock down 1 3 and get 1 block shot for 15.5 points. You know what that means, right? You know what that means. You a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your bitch ass again. Now let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now, for this 8-game slate in NBA, we have a very juicy, we have a few very juicy matchups. This is going to be a really solid week, a lot more predictable than the last few weeks when we move into the NBA playoff season. So let's go ahead and jump into the very first game on the slate. Wish I could be at this game, man. This is the Miami Heat going to Charlotte to take on the Hornets. That is right up the street, man. We've got Kemba at home in a matchup that is not very great. So people think. People will not want to roster Kemba under these circumstances. But man, I like the spot that he's in. I think Kemba's in a very solid spot in this game, and I'm gonna take definitely serious consideration to roster. Now this Hornets game is a 207.5 point total. That's a fairly nice point total for both of these teams involved, man. We know that the Miami Heat generally do limit the point guard position, but I think the fact that Kemba's at home, they need a win, they need him to play well to win. They're also fighting to get in that last playoff spot. The Miami Heat are right there. So in that 8th spot, so I definitely think that we can take a look at Kemba Walker. I like the spot that he is in. Also, I do like Nick Batum matched up against Josh Richardson. I think that's going to be a very positive, favorable matchup for him. You can give me Whiteside all day against Zeller, and I do like Kid Gilchrist matched up with Rodney Magruder. Now, Luke Babbitt is probably going to be starting this game, but he's not going to play very long, and we can attack the Charlotte Hornets at that power forward position. I think we do that off of the bench with a guy uh, with Johnson, definitely. James Johnson, we can definitely attack those guys with James Johnson. I have no issue rostering him in this spot. It's a very solid matchup we do have for him. The next game we're going to talk about is the Boston Celtics at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. This is going to be the game of the night, man. It's going to be a very good game. And I can tell you right now, I'm doing just what I did last night, and I'm just going to stack the Cavs, bro. I mean, that was very profitable if we were able to do that. I think we can definitely look there tonight because we know we can attack the Boston Celtics rebound in the basketball. We can attack them at the point guard spot. There's no way, unless we see, Avery Bradley switch off and play Kyrie Irving, that is the only way that I would not roster Kyrie Irving with complete confidence. But if that happens, who does Isaiah Thomas guard J.R. Smith, and then J.R. Smith has a good game? So either way, it's kind of a lose-lose situation for that Boston Celtic backcourt. I do love Kevin Love matched up against Al Horford. That is a very solid, winnable matchup for Kevin Love. We can also take a look at Tristan Thompson against Amir Johnson, and of course, Jay Crowder. He gets up. He really gets up to play LeBron James. He really does. And for that reason, I like Jay Crowder, but I love LeBron James a lot more. At 10.2, that is a very solid price there for him, and we've got Crowder at 5.8. So look out for that matchup, man, because I think both of those guys are going to play really good games. I like both of those guys. Now, and I do like Isaiah Thomas as well. He is at 8.5. I think we can take advantage of him in that spot. I've got no issue with rostering him there. The next game we're going to talk about is the Toronto Raptors and the Detroit Pistons. This is a game where I am strictly relying on DeMar DeRozan to really step up and have a good one. He's going to have to because, they're still fighting for playoff position as well as far as the seeding goes. So I have no issue rostering DeMar DeRozan. He didn't have a really good game out last time. That's going to take the people off of him. I think that's a mistake. I do like him a lot tomorrow. Now, this game we're talking about is the Nuggets and the Rockets. There's not yet a point total for this game because we do have some injury concerns. Kenneth Reed, Jameer Nelson, Will Barton on the Denver side. Those guys couldn't. Maybe they might not play today, so we do have some injury concerns there. But if you look around at everything else, man, I mean, Gary Harris against James Harden, that is the play for me. I do like him. He's only at 5.6K. I would not be playing James Harden at 12.5. I think they're not going to let him see a complete run of minutes. And I do think that we're going to see the Houston Rockets be a heavy favorite in this game. Now, these were some good games earlier in the season. So, but that was when they were at full strength. We had Will Barton. We had, Fareed. We had Plumlee. We had everybody was at full strength for the Denver Nuggets, and that's just not the case right now. Those guys are banged up and really not playing for much, so I don't see them putting up a huge fight against this Houston offense. If the Houston offense is clicking and they're knocking down 3-point shots, this game is going to be over fairly quickly. So I don't think we're going to see a full run of James Harden. Jamal Murray's priced at 4.5. That's up a little bit from the 3.9 he just was. Excuse me, he was 4.1 or something like that. He's priced up just a little bit. I don't know if I can get a hold of that. I do like Eric Gordon at 5.8, and I think Danilo Gallinari would be one of the only guys on the Denver side that I will take a look at. So I like Harris some, I like Gallinari some, and maybe some Jokic at 9.4, just because he is so good and he's under 10K, so he's somebody that I may be able to take a look at. Next game we're going to talk about is the Oklahoma City Thunder going to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Now that game right there, man, we have not been seeing full minutes from Russell Westbrook lately, and we haven't had to, man. Really, they're kind of set in their spot. There's really nothing that can happen to push them out of playoff contention, so we're not having to see a ton of Westbrook, especially since they've been playing very well. Now, Mike Conley is definitely an injury concern in this game, so if he's not in, then you're going to be seeing cats like you're going to see James Ennis, you're going to be seeing Tony Douglas, all of these other dudes. I know Tony Allen didn't even play yesterday, so there's an injury concern there. Now, I do like Vic Oladipo, 5.6K, very solid price there on him. I think we can take a look at If Marc Gasol, if he does play, we can roster Marc Gasol in this spot, and maybe some Taj Gibson at 3.5. Not a lot to like about this game. Next game we're talking about is the LA Lakers and the San Antonio Spurs. This is a complete fade. There is no reason whatsoever for me to get excited about any of these guys. Man, this game is going to blow. It's going to blow quick. We might get popped in this game just because, they could win. They could sit Kawhi and a couple other guys and still beat the Lakers. The Lakers are that bad. It is nobody who I'm particularly interested in on the Lakers side, as well as on the San Antonio side, until we find out if guys are going to be sitting, if guys are going to be resting. Once we find that news out, that will make some of the guys on the San Antonio side a little more appealing to me. Next game we're talking about is going to be the Golden State Warriors going to Phoenix to take on the Suns. Now, this is the very same situation, a very similar situation to what we just talked about in San Antonio, where this is a team that's pretty much got the #1 spot locked up in the West. They don't have to exert themselves too much. We already know a couple of guys are going to be out on the Golden State side. They've already been, ruled out. Barbosa is out for Phoenix. We know Tyson Chandler, of course, is out. No Bledsoe, no Brandon Knight. We probably won't be seeing a couple of the Golden State guys. I think we already found out that maybe Draymond Green or some guys are going to be ruled out already. So they could sit a lot of people from Golden State, and that would make it more appealing to me. If we see Golden State guys sit, that would make this game way more appealing to me. Of course, there's no spread or total for this game yet. The last game on the slate is going to be the LA Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks, and this is yet another game. Where we're going to have to be waiting for some injury news. We don't know if we're going to see Dirk. We don't know if we're going to see Harrison Barnes. He struggled to play tonight. So with that being said, will we see a full Clippers team? And this is what happens coming into the stretch of playoff basketball. The good thing is, it's not like after lock we're going to be finding this information out. Early on in the day, we're going to know who of these guys are going to be sitting out and who's going to be playing. So I want you all to pay attention to that, definitely. Of course, there's no point total or spread yet for this game too, because of those injury concerns or risk concerns that we do have from the Dallas Mavericks side. But all in all, I think it's a very solid slate. I think we can win this slate in the beginning with the first couple of games. We know that the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to come hard. They're going to come to play. We know that the Toronto and Detroit game is going to be a game where the best guys, especially from the Toronto side, we're going to want to play. We also know that in that Denver game, you can see some guys that come to play there. So play lightly, man. Invest yourself lightly. We roll it into MLB. There's a lot more that we really want to get under our belts when it comes to MLB, as far as getting our stacks down, understanding that this is. See, I'm gonna tell you something. MLB, man. And for those of you that play NHL, because we have some guys in the shop that play NHL. I play NHL, and the most important thing that I realized about NHL was you don't just roster guys from all over different teams. What you do is you roster them in lines, top line, second line, when it comes to NHL. And MLB has a very similar feel. I'm not saying that, you just everything you do has to be, correlated with someone else, but it does help. And I love to stack from 1 to 5. At least a stack to me is no less than 3, but as many as 5 batters from the same team on DraftKings. I believe on FanDuel you can only roster 4 batters from the same team, or 4 players period from the same team. But on DraftKings you can go up to 5. And I love that strategy, man. That happened for me tonight. It was one of the only lineups that really, took shape and did well for me was the Colorado Rockies lineup, where I just stacked them from 1 to 5. So that's what I like to do when it comes to MLB, man. So let's go ahead and jump into just some quick hit MLB stuff. I'm going to give you a few plays that I really do like, guys that I want you to pay attention to, and the matchups that they are in. Now, before we get any deeper into the MLB talk, I want to bring up a little something for you. There's something called BvP, it's batter versus pitcher, and this is a stat that is widely argued. Does it mean anything? Does it matter? And I want to clear something up for you, okay? Now, let's just say let's just take it out of the realm of baseball. Let's say there's this girl that I've been trying to get. I've been trying to get her forever. I always go up to her, talk to her. Let's say like Steve Urkel and Laura. Do you think Steve Urkel ever got some of Laura? Never. Right? He couldn't hit her. He couldn't hit her, right? Well, let's talk about a chick that you was with that you could hit. If you hit right, you can hit it again. That's what BvP means to me. If I can hit this guy, if I can hit this pitcher, I know that. I'm confident in that. I can hit the pitcher. If I can't, it gets in my head and I can't. So when we go back and we look over what specific batters do against specific pitchers, it is a usable statistic. I'm not saying to base all of your roster building on BvP, but I'm just telling you, if you come across something that is overwhelming, if you look, like you say, oh shit, look at this. This dude is a bum. This dude right here, a guy that we used last night, he's not a great player. He's not a great player by any stretch. Let's talk about it. Where's he at? Okay, Marwin Gonzalez, right? So Mr. Gonzalez was face up against Iwakuma last night. So we look back at what he had done in previous matchups against this pitcher. And I can tell you, man, it was impressive what he was able to do against this guy. It was very impressive. We look back, over, his batting against this specific guy, man, and it was just ridiculous what he was able to do in the time that he had him. So he in 25 at bats, he gets 11 hits, 7 singles, 3 doubles, a home run, and he's batting 440 against him. He's batting 440. So this dude is priced at 2.7K. So if I have a dude that's priced under 3K on DraftKings that has an exponential amount of data compiled with him and the specific pitcher that he's going against, what is wrong with taking a shot at this guy? So I do that. The dude goes out, hits a fucking jack. For 2.7K, I get an easy 14 points. Could have gotten more because he went to the wall with another one the next time around. So BvP does matter, man. And to go over a couple of other ones we saw, Steven Souza Jr. against CC Sabathia, 11 at-bats, 5 hits, 4 singles, a home run, batting 455. Well, he had a decent game against him. He didn't Snowflake. He had a decent game against him. Hunter Pence against Patrick Corbin, 25 at-bats, 12 hits. So the dude's batting 480 against this guy. Also got 4 home runs. He only struck out twice against him. Those are all key, components to separating yourself with those low-owned guys that a lot of people are not going to take the time to research and find out. Now that's how we rock it in the sweatshop. We come up with all that information, but that's little ways to tweak your MLB game to help you out and find hitters that will be places where you wouldn't normally look. Because it's better than just looking at the DVP on DraftKings when you see the little green number or the red number on DraftKings. That shit really don't help. You got to dig a little deeper into the numbers. You got to do that. So just to give you a look at a couple of guys that are in very solid BvP matchups that I kind of like tomorrow. And I already had some stacks that I wanted to implement based on BvP 1, but just how bad the actual pitcher is and how affordable the stack of this team is going to be, because that's how I roll at MLB, man. I love to stack players. So let's take a look at Miguel Cabrera going up against James Shields. 57 at-bats, 20 hits, 10 singles, 8 doubles, 2 home runs. He struck out 9 times against him, so that's a negative, but he is batting 351 average with a 397 on-base percentage and a 596 slugging percentage. You can use that. His teammate is right there with him. We're talking about Ian Kinsler. 57 at-bats, 16 hits, 11 singles, 1 double, 4 home runs. He struck out only 3 times. He's batting 281 against them, and he got walked 5 times. That's usable. Those are usable statistics. The next guy we're talking about, Victor Martinez. So that is shaping up to be a Detroit Tigers stack right there. Victor Martinez against James Shield, 47 at-bats, 15 hits, 9 singles, 5 doubles, 1 home run, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts, batting 319 against them with a 360 on-base percentage and a 489 slugging percentage. That's just telling you right there. That's ways that you find guys. Let's take a look at Miami, at Martin Prado. He's going up against Tanner Roark tomorrow. 23 at-bats, 10 hits, 9 singles, 1 home run, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. He's batting 435 against Tanner Roark. So check out the BVPs, man. If it can help you decide whether you want to take a player or not. We've got a ton of baseball tomorrow. Meet me in the midday mix. It's going to be a little later than usual. I like to wait until all of the MLB lines are completely set before we jump in there and we start breaking shit down and really getting into it. We're going to be talking basketball definitely tomorrow for that 8-game slate. So meet me in the midday mix. If you don't know how to get there, go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you will get all of the news and the notes and tutelage and everything you need to become a really solid, profitable daily fantasy sports player. From there, I will welcome you into the Facebook VIP. That is where I do all of my super exclusive live streams. I try to hit those guys up at least 3 times a day. So, yo, I'm telling you, come in, you're going to enjoy it, it's going to be great, and we're going to turn you into a profitable player. If you're already profitable, we're going to help you stay there, give you some people that you can help, because you got new guys in the group as well as guys that have been there for quite some time, people that are novice MLB players, some that are experienced professionals and do this for a living. So man, we've got a lot of help for you all, man. So come inside, come check us out. Of course, this has been your DFS Jerusalem. Thank you so very much for supporting the show. If you would like to support the show further, there's a box over here. It says support the show. Go ahead and click that box. Also, like I just said, become a member. Join us. Join us. You're going to have a great time. Great group of guys. We always chopping it up 24/7. There's always questions to be answered, always answers for your questions. So thank you so much for all of your support, and let's go out and have a very profitable Wednesday. You know what to do in the sweatshop. Always keep it 300.